Hi guys, I'm John Girardi. Welcome to my tattoo type combative tiger boxing video. I'm just actually going to do the art for whatever, 35, 45 seconds, whatever. And then I'm going to explain a little bit. It's just how a tattoo is shaped and configured in a certain manner on your body, but it's actually done by the concepts of how you knock somebody out or hurt them. That's a result that's already completely set. So the result is already completed and it's set that way. And you practice this every day in every kind of martial art you do. But that result set gets you to that and finds you to that result set in a certain order or sequence or manner of a certain amount of strikes. It could be 1 to a million, doesn't matter. But the point is that result where you hit the person in the head, say a knockout, of course, or a scratch across the eye, will help you to find a way to come up with the tattoos. So this is an art form that I founded called Crazy Tiger Boxing, combined with Western Tiger Claw Boxing. All right, so. And I would recommend, if you feel the need to skinwalk into a tiger or some kind of thing. Now, I wanted to give you a ninja clue here, is that you should really stop following the modernized ninjitsu world, only the military or the ancient world. And really, if you really want to be a real ninja, you must understand the real creature and creatorious ways, like how many creatures there are and how many there could be, and the things that they could do, alien to tiger to dragon, I don't care. The list just keeps going. There's no limits. But you have to understand how to be these creatures to become a real ninja. Okay, you satisfy yourself this way. It's an instinct thought. They have instincts, creatures, and, I don't think there is anywhere in any kind of dimension or any kind of realm where there is a limit to the kinds of creatures that there are. Because first of all, you can make them in a lab. Now, I'm not a believer in science at all, but you can, understand that a creature can be a person. Okay, we're called human beings, but to other people, other species, we're called creatures. Okay, so if you think about it like that, but you don't annoy them. You don't annoy them. That's the worst thing you can ever possibly do to a tiger. Psychologically, it would just telepathy bullshit, is annoy them. Okay? And don't do it because they'll attack you from far away. Don't do it either. It's just disrespectful to the creatures of the world. And you don't even know how they really are. They could be, all of them could be aliens. Okay? But anyway, the point is to understand the how-ness of the facet of the thought of instinct. It's not words. Okay? When you understand that the more how-ness of a facet you think as a tiger's instinct or any other creature, you will become that creature. Okay, now the thing is that there is no death. Death does not exist. Okay, the reason for this is that it doesn't. And that means the devil is not real. That means that even Jesus in those terms are not real. Catholic is not real. Buddhism is not real. Religion has nothing to do with gods. Okay, it has to do with the physical and, the whole body put together in one, the brain, everything. And it is a way of life. It is not gods. It is not dying. Okay, it is not sick, and it is anything you see. It is not nature. It is not street. It is not aquatic life or anything like that. But it is a base on moralities and the reasons why people do the things they do. It could be those tiger instincts. It could be the fact that it's tattoos and clothing and uniforms and all that kind of thing. Now, I mostly am the founder of something called, Become Your Disguise, or Find With Your Disguise, or Find With a Uniform and Tattoos, and you find a way or an art form of anything you wish, really, not just fighting. But the point of this this conversation we're having in this video is that you can have an instinct, and it can actually, you don't even have to change into the creature. Okay, now if you have a regular tiger instinct thought, you're not going to change into a tiger, because that's their thought. Okay, they don't change into other kinds of tigers with those, so you can't either. All right, but if you have one above it, or one that's a howness of a facet, the facet is mannered in a certain howness, not whatness. Not whatness. There's no what. Okay, there's always howness of a facet in a certain manner. And you think these instincts. But all you have to do is think a human one. Okay, humanistic psychology, it's called, in many ways. You also have to base it on a certain kind of visual sense, okay, which is mathematics, because you have 10 fingers to say. Color, which is art, because we're a color. We're a shape, okay, that's geometry. Religion, as I was explaining, is physical. And also unholy spirit. There's no Holy Spirit stuff. There's spirit, but there's not Holy Spirit. And all these are an immortal factor, too. But they do motion and notion, these 6 subjects. Oh, and sound, excuse me. Sound and talking and hearing and listening, and how a heart ticking is sound, all that kind of thing. And it has to be motion, notion, sequence, manner, facet, fashion, order, and configuration and stuff like that. And you'll start to think these thoughts. Okay, the master of Ninjitsu today is Hatsumi, his name is, Professor Hatsumi. He teaches the Japanese CIA Ninjitsu. And he said a master in the arts of Ninjitsu is a master of, all different kinds of subjects and creatures and wildlife and all things like that. Now, I don't necessarily believe in all of it. It has to be done in a certain way, though. Psychology is those 6 subjects that I just told you in those many ways. So, and creatures and species and beings and moralities, it's a moralities master. When you're a real ninja and you have a reason to do something, okay, you have a need to do it, there's only one morality that is fueling this ninja for you to be. And it's usually a pretty good moralities way. But at the same time, the things that you do as a ninja seems like it's not morals in the Catholic religion and many other kinds of religions today that they do base psychology on, and how sick somebody is and all that kind of thing. And, even physical problems. But, if you really want to study real ninjitsu, you're going to have to study the ancient way and how I'm talking right now. And it has nothing to do with fancy fighting at all, like flips by a sword and blah, 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 blah. Okay, when a sword comes at you and you try to grab it or stop it with another sword, and you do a facet grab with a facet flip, it's not going to work. Okay, in a real fight, it's not going to work. You have to be a nitty-gritty, brutal, and vicious fucker. Okay, and very, very fierce. Okay, that is a real ninja that doesn't have his weapons in his hand anymore, and they go by that in the ancient world anyway. A punch, a regular punch to the medical sternum is a ninja, not stuff like that. No fancy flipping stuff. To get down to business, and it's not reality and it's not realistic, it is answer and fact fighting. So let's get back to the real point I'm trying to make here, is that you can have a how-ness facet in a certain manner, thought, and it can be a humanistic instinct, and you will do this whole video. You'll do the creature, you do this, but you won't change into them. You'll have their abilities. I would say a tiger will make it easy. Okay? So really, the first thing I want you to understand is that there is no intercepting. Okay, when a tiger, we're going to use a tiger because it makes it easier to understand. When you come here, you have the abilities of a tiger. Against, say, the bag is another tiger. When they make contact, something gets eliminated, and one of them falls to the right. It comes to the side, it goes down. Okay, they push on a certain angle, so the tiger goes down. They go for a bite to the throat, and they throw the person down. So what we're going to transfer this to is you hook those punches and bring them down with your body weight. It's the same thing as having claws. And just boom, just like that. And then you scratch, box, if you want to be like that. Okay, so it looks like this. And the guy's eye is finished. Or we have a short strike jab claw. Just like that. And then you can pop them in the face if you want to come up with, there's many claws you could use. Don't just think there's one tiger claw and it's this. What about that? Or this? Okay? Or this. Coming in with the thumb. Watch. My thumb hit the eye. Then we have from here, scratch across. Okay? You can do these things. And it has to be done quick. So if there was a jab here, I want you to understand now, bring that jab to the side. With your body, their punch coming at you, they're going to go like this. Well, they are not going to be able, after you grab that sucker and bring it to the side with all your body weight, okay, and you're coming in, it's not going to go, and it's going to stop in the middle. It's going to go that way. Also, you slide down the arm. From thickness to thin, the biggest person in the world, most strongest, most military trained, blah, 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 okay, will not stop it. Nope. So you go boom, 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 and you're already here, set up on the side of the body to get right down to the one side and the other side of the eye. Okay? Or you have this. You can come here first and then seek up them right in the throat or the jaw, okay, or the mouth or the nose or even the eyes for a double claw with your thumb and your first two fingers in the eyes, okay? You have all these tools. If you want to bring it into bare knuckle boxing as a ninja, okay, I like to go with a knife going down my forearm. That's how you should really hold the knife. Because it becomes, say I was in a knife fight, right? And I had a knife on this side. And the guy tried to go, or they got to do some kind of swinging, stabbing action. So it comes where that knife, you give him a forearm punch. And what happens is I'm here, and I go, and I strike with the knife to the artery on the side of the throat. And I put this one up here to guard his next stab. Okay? Stuff like that. Hold the knife on the side, but I'm trying to get to a point. Because that becomes a regular forearm weapon from weapon transferred into hand use and body use. So we have bare knuckle boxing as a tiger to say, make it again easy. Through that forearm, at that punch or that jab, it's now to the side, and you have your tool upward at the same time to open up his neck, and bam, you have a kill right there. Or your regular punch, or whichever you wish. Okay, so because another thing is that you have these arts, that I came up with that are very important. I'm a very dangerous guy, all right? You know, I don't mean to say that, and you know, I don't like a certain array of fighting arts. I don't like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay, let them do what they want. But they talk a lot of shit where they think that it's the best fighting art in the world. If a man had a knife, right, like me, and this idiot did not have any weapons, I'm gonna fucking kill him in like 9 seconds. He's a dead man. He's an idiot that doesn't get it. Okay? But let them do it. If they're good enough to understand after watching this video that they can defend against this video with Brazilian, more power to them because they're doing the right thing then. Alright? That's fine. I don't take it. I also know it anyway, but that doesn't mean that I worry about it. Okay, I worry about wrestling and combat judo and even American combat judo. When you think about it in your own fashion, you can be the founder of it out of nowhere because it's like a 3/4 of the way never founded real art form that's actually very nasty of a fighting art when you have all the other tools combined. Anyway, so I founded Become Your Disguise, okay? Or using a disguise to find a martial art that it's not even on Earth. Fuck Earth. Okay? Then we have the achievement geometry. Shape does the achievement hypnotic pendulum, or achievement geometry in general. That when this pendulum is shaped in a certain manner, okay, again, the howness of the facet of the manner of the shaped pendulum by that shape. The shape does anything. You can forget about just hooking you up in front of you and you become something special. It does anything. I can hold it right here. If I shape one, I could start doing, I'll find up a whole existence, imagine anything I want, and wish anything, and do it all by the shape of the pendulum. First of all, I have a master's degree in hypnosis and neurolinguistics programming, and I'm kind of the founder of that pendulum. Then, so we have Become Your Disguise. Okay, we have Find Something by Your Disguise. Okay, a brand new way that finds martial arts systems. You can be the founder of Kung Fu. I don't give a shit. You can find anything you want. Then we have the uniform, thought of and founded. Okay, then finds the art it belongs to. That's nobody ever found before. That it doesn't necessarily have to be Earth. You could find a Mars fighting art. I don't care. Then we have tattoo type combatives that does it. The tattoo in a certain manner again finds a way. A martial art system, a technique, a weapon, I don't care, anything. Okay? Then we have the mask in a certain manner. I call it mask manner. That does so. Outdo the Budo mask like I already did of Japan. That means the art of killing mask and everything they do there. Okay? You come up with anything you want. I understand American Indian fighting like this. Okay? And ninjitsu, assassin skills ninjitsu. I also came up with a very cool thing that I think you're going to like. Okay? First of all, I came up with developing weapons, like I said, with the knife going down my arm. Well, what happens if it had a little knife sticking out and it was a grabber or a grabber bringer downer? Okay, stuff like that. I came up with the achievement geometry so you could shape a weapon in a how shape to do a how use that then is transferred into your hand use, like I was telling you with the knife. Okay? So I have those. And also, I came up with the black uniform, okay? Any kind of black uniform you want. A leather jacket, okay? A net leather shirt, but it has to be in a certain manner again, okay? The black uniform finding skill of the assassin world, or immortality, it doesn't matter because I love black clothes. I actually love to wear a black denim outfit, a blue denim outfit, even a red one or a green one, even white, with a pair of cowboy boots. Okay, I wear leather shirts. I used to wear leather pants. I don't do it anymore. But find an assassin skill, okay, an assassin art, and people will be like, okay, he just killed me from far away by throwing a punch in the air, and that's it, literally. Okay. Or at the same time, there is the uniform of Tai Chi, where you see Oriental people a long time ago on video throwing people without touching them. You see it in the Russian military of today, how they affect people with their body without touching them, and the Orientals do it. Okay, I know for a fact they do it. So, but then there's also the uniform better than Tai Chi, if you ever, and it keeps going. Okay, so this video, okay, if you want to be in this sense, all you don't have to make the uniform, dude, and miss, you don't have to make that uniform. You think that human instinct in the howness of facet of a certain manner, and you will be like, bam! You'll destroy everything you hit. And this is the aspects brought famous, okay, by a real ninja, okay, not a fake one. All right. Now, I brought this into the world, though. Okay, I'm the founder of all those things. All right. And I have a certificate, and I practice something called Matrix Martial Arts, where I'm allowed to teach this stuff. Okay. And, I'm happy that I'm allowed, because I'm allowed to bring any kind of martial arts system I want into Matrix Martial Arts. I also have an Oriental certificate that says that I am instructing myself in a certain manner, and I can teach this concept with there's no right or wrong answer, just the answer I give myself, and as you can see, I'm pretty good at it. Okay, but like I said, it's important to understand these concepts. They're still competing with yourself, with your thought. That's insanity. Don't do that no more. There's no right or wrong, only the answer you give yourself. There's no good versus evil. There's no words versus words, thoughts versus thoughts. Okay? So when you don't compete with yourself, you'll be able to really come up with the answers then, because competition can overwhelm your own self. And you'll never be able to be a founder of something, or say you were the founder of Ninjitsu in general these days. But it also was related to the ancient world and belongs in the ancient world. What's wrong? I do it all the time. I'm doing it in the video. Okay? So like a good thing to understand is that when you fight, you want your hands closed so they don't know you're going to use claws. When you throw that forearm here, okay, you can even use a hook like this, okay, right here, and you come, they think you're going to throw some kind of punch, okay, but you're going to hook their arm and step to the side and bring it down right in there, okay, and then you have you change open from closed to open and hit them. They won't even think you're going to do that like you think. Only if you were in the Orient and you were fighting somebody, they would. Or if they were in the military here. Okay? But if you're fighting a guy that just street boxes, he thinks you're going to throw a punch. He doesn't know that you're going to be a nasty fuck that's like a species from outer space, literally. That's a tiger mechanism because of the way you are from the video. And you're going to kill him, literally. He's going to shit a brick. Even if you just went and popped him with something I call a hook jab or a hook jab scratch. It's a jab and a hook punch put together so it goes on like an angle, but you step here. You can come here, bring it down, and throw it like that. Or what you would do is get out of the way of the punch, but you have just like that. Okay? Get out of the danger, eliminate yourself from danger, and eliminate the jab or the punch away. Okay? Or you have here the jab, or we have a punch coming around like that, of course. Okay? We have just like that. Or we have, we throw a claw. Okay? Or a hook jab. You do these things. When you come here, you can grab and start scratching literally like that. Okay? Now, I want to teach nerve communication, not nerve impulses. Okay? The hypnotic technique I came up with. You press against your arms. Remember when I said no competition? My arm is competing against my other arm. It went up in the air. I didn't tell my arm to do that. My nerves, my hand-eye, my nerve impulse, nope, nothing. The pressure, blip, and it came up. Okay? So, from this, we find into the nervous system. Okay? That's how you communicate to the entire body. Okay? They won't know this, all right? But when you go pop and say you smash an arm down, we'll say, it's going to hurt them because you're hitting them with your bone, with your arm bone. But, okay, if you have a certain tattoo or you think these humanistic instinct thoughts, it'll communicate right there, okay, to their nervous system. Not send pulses. You could send your own kind of effect up their body. You're not going to be annoying their body. Okay, and I'm going to give you the secret to this is instantaneous death touch. So we have, boom. It'll, and they'll crack up right there. Okay? Because if you take your hand and just push your nerve in, like that, with your thumb, it sends your message up there. Okay, but the secret, and to do it in one shot, okay, is to slide down the arm in that sequence. So it's like a certain kind of manner of, say, a snake that was slithering along your arm, but it was in such the manner and configurated sequence that you pass the fuck out from because of the certain type of slither and the effect that it gives. So you go like that. And then they'll their head will explode, their brain, and they're done, or their heart. Okay? That's actually a real thing. It's called the mock, literally. Okay? So, you have that, and you have your Demok doctor skills that I am. I'm a Demok doctor. And then we have, like, you put your body through a certain sequence, so your body gets affected by it. You can't tell me that's not real because acupressure is real, acupuncture is real, okay? Massage regularly is real. Shiatsu massage is a medical massage is real. So when you advance it to a certain kind of order you put your body through or sequence, it becomes even more of a tool. And you're a doctor like that. It's called a shaman. And they do it in the jungle. And they do it in American Indians, and India, and Orient, and the Aborigines, okay? There is no, like, medical license for becoming a Demok doctor, but you can, like, join a martial arts fraternity that's really good, and you can then do your skills teaching people the martial arts and, you know, get a little bit of Chinese medicine knowledge. Go ahead, yeah. And some Japanese understanding of ninja medicine. Okay? You go right ahead. I've been studying it ever since I was a kid. All right? Now, the other parts of the video is that you want to imagine yourself as deadly and as dangerous as you could friggin' be. And then support it. And I'm going to tell you the answer. But first of all, I told you the sequential massage of the Demok doctor. Okay? You think of something. All right? Like say you want to be cured of a disease. Literally. And you think, I'm cured of this disease that you have. And you massage yourself, so those thoughts and the way you think, it becomes fact. Okay? And that's another way to massage yourself to get to the howness facet in a certain manner way. Okay? So, that's another way to say, because you're massaging yourself, it's affecting your brain, That's another way to say that sequence will affect the brain and kill it. It's called killing and curing. Yin-yang. Killing, yin, curing, yang. Okay? You have these tools. Alright? You just don't think it's real because you don't know nothing about it. Okay? But then you also have my creature way I was telling you about, okay? Where you actually can be a defense against demonic, no matter how. Think about the thing, the one thing, solution-based thing, okay, that you want to be in by this video and do it. That's why I'm doing it. Okay? So, you know, don't necessarily listen to an idiot that's taking Taijitsu today, it's called. And it's called body as a weapon fighting. Okay? That's what Taijitsu means. In so many words. Okay? If they're telling you to evade this way and they do some freaking flip, don't bother with them. Don't take their courses. Don't take their classes. Okay? They don't know what they're talking about. There isn't too many people like me in the ninjitsu way. Okay? So if you listen to me instead, my body as a weapon stuff is a weapon, not a flipping guy that just evaded the shot and did the little grab and you're resting here on his forearm because he's amazing. Okay? No. No. Don't even think about it. Okay? So, you know, if you even try to think about doing those arts, you have to go join the FBI and CIA and military, and after you get out of the military, they'll do this, where you are an FBI detective in the middle of fucking China and Japan, and a CIA agent bouncing off the fucking rooftops, literally, and walls, kicking the shit out of a shitload of Hong Kong gangs. Literally, okay? You're not going to be doing that anytime soon, all right? So don't worry about it. When it comes to the America here, okay, this is how you listen to, but this is how they would listen to. And they say, okay, let's listen to that royally, because it's better than how they're doing. Okay? So, you know, there's something I'd like to show you that's very important. When you come down, it's called a claw show. And you go down and show the eye sockets right into the head with your claw, instead of going like this and pushing the guy's body. Like, that's what he's going to do. You're not going to hit him first. Unless he says he's going to kill you, do whatever you want after that. I suggest you run, but at the same time, you have these tools now and these understanding storage tools. So you go, like a fucking animal. Okay, literally, that's why I'm doing it. You change into whatever you wish. Okay? And, you know, if you have the power, which I told you, the boxing knockout scenario binds you to the boxing knockout. And it's the result that's already completely set. Every single time Mike Tyson went into the ring, he said, I'm going to fucking knock the guy out like this. And he just chose. Also by how he knows the boxer boxes. And he did it. And that's the end of it, because he found the punches to the head and knocked out the guy. That's a special thing to understand, but it's not goals. It's not goal setting. It's result already completed setting. And you went uppercut, blap, that's it, guy's done. Two things. So you make two needle holes with a hand poke needle. Doesn't have to be ink. It's an invisible tattoo anyway. And then we have boom, boom. According to those 6 subjects and the shape of your body and motioning and notioning about fighting, okay, maybe the fact that you have one nose to make it easy, and you go boop, boop, in a certain order, and you will be a fucking house. Until those two things are healed, okay? If you ever think you're in danger, and you master these skills, walking down the block, just take your finger, okay, along your jeans or your shirt, and if you could do your arm, say you take a scratch, right? And you scratch the shit out of your arm. It leaves a cellular mark on your arm. This sequence you scratch in, you'll be a fucking house. Ready for this dude that keeps bothering you. Everywhere you turn, you walked around in a fucking square in the city and he followed you. Okay? No. You gotta get ready, because he's coming after you. In any which way he thinks. Alright? Doesn't give a shit if you're a master, and he's too sick to understand probably at the same time. Because he's got a fucking gun and a knife. That's it. Alright? So, but that's the end of the video. If you want to become a scratch weapon, I just did that, but at the same time, you got the scratch way now. You scratch yourself in a certain sequence, okay? Plus anything else you are. The clothes you're wearing. If you have tattoos, okay? If you know the martial arts, aid it with that scratch, okay? And that becomes the master of scratch boxing, or scratch fighting, whatever, crazy tiger I like to call. I founded an art called Crazy Tiger Old School Professional Wrestling, okay, which goes with Crazy Tiger Boxing that I came up with by Rodney Chico King, which is a fist. Crazy Monkey Boxing. I transferred the monkey fist into the tiger claw, okay, which is a good art, because you have here, and you come in here, it's actually better than Crazy Monkey Boxing, okay, if you want to be like that. Just depends on who's doing it, okay? So, but my Crazy Tiger fighting causes a lot more damage, and you can kill the person with it. You can kill a person with a punch. If you punch them in the neck or you punch them in a certain area, yeah, you could kill them, okay? But it's much easier to understand that if the fucking guy can't see, or the woman can't see that said they were actually going to kill you, then they ain't fighting no more. And you don't get put in jail for murder. You say, this dude just told me they were going to kill me. I don't fucking know them. I'm going to scratch their fucking eyes so they can't see. Okay? And that's it. You don't have to kill the person. That's all. There's a main part of this whole thing. I am way too dangerous to sit there and worry about killing a person, to tell you the truth. Okay, I can actually go like this, okay, and just jab the dude, and his bone structure will disappear and get disintegrated and turn into a fucking piece of mush. And they're going to go, what the fuck just happened to me? And they're not going to be able to function in there. I could like totally destroy their nervous system. They won't be able to do anything. That's the whole point of these videos. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed this ninjitsu video and its witchery also. It's vampirism and any other kind of creature you want to understand. Okay, now, I'm not being a bestiality nut. Okay, I'm telling you that your human howness instinct thoughts, okay, will do this. You're not going to, if you want to be as dangerous as, say, a king cobra or a tiger or a wolf, you don't have to change into them. But you could have that poison, which is called the poison hand technique. Or you have that strength and clawing way of a tiger. Or the speed and understanding and cunningness of a wolf. Or a leopard, or a jaguar, or a cheetah, or anything like that. Now, the reason why I said the howness, okay, facet in a certain manner is because you will outdo the fierceness of a real tiger or lion or even a fucking crocodile at that, because you have the human instinct understanding of the how facet in a certain manner. Thought that you have. If you don't think, then you ain't doing shit. I hate when people say all this reptile part of the brain. You're going to see some reaction with fight or flight. Okay? If you don't think better than that, then you ain't getting better than that. Okay? Unless it's explained to you like I'm doing, what you're going to think it anyway. Now think. Okay? Because you ain't going to do shit if you don't think. Alright? Also, the hypnotic pendulum way, okay, that I told you with the shape achievement geometry pendulum, do that with your hands in front of your face once in a while, and you'll get a lot done. Okay? You can do a pendulum in a certain sequence in front of your face. A certain circle type, say, or a certain oval way, or a little thing, and add the fact that you can skinwalk your arm with it, and your fingers notioning around. Okay? And it will bring about those thoughts if you want to be like that. It's the same thing as a chalkboard in front of you doing the same thing. Okay? Now you understand? So, but these humanistic instinct thoughts, you'll be any fucking species of anything you wish. If you want to be a megalodon shark is strong, because a megalodon shark will fucking totally kick the living shit out of a tiger. Okay? Unless, you know, the tiger was humongous. A megalodon shark is real, and they're like 100 feet long. They're frickin' nails. They eat ships. You jab with that thing? Holy moly, the guy was fucking blitzed like 60,000 feet. Literally. So think about this stuff. I'm not being bestiality here. I'm being the fact, okay, that you could do this shit without being a bestiality lunatic. Yeah. And with those humanistic howness thoughts. Okay? You want to be a human, again, it's a humanistic thought of instincts. Say you want to kill a tiger. That's how you do it. That's the end, besides weapons. Alright. Again, I'm glad that you've landed on this video, and I bet you are too. Because if you master this, you can go to my blog and master it, and this is going to be on my YouTube channel. So check some of those little things about this whole video that those videos are. All right, and I will see you later. I bow to you, and I hope you have an enjoyable life now and after this. And if you are a better one, I hope you have wisdom, and I hope that you attain many happy moral things. And, you know, I wish you the best. I'll see you later. Bye.